Maybe take a picture, dude. Yeah, you're.
Just that chill. Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll get started. I'd like to call to order October 1st, 2024 regular council meeting. Please rise for the invocation. I am standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we're thankful for your favor and blessing upon our village. We'd ask that you would guide and direct this council meeting, that we might know your mind and your heart, and that all would be done in charity and dignity and respect. We thank you for your guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next is the verbal roll call of council members present for the record.
Councilmember Back,
Present.
Councilmember Cooper,
Present.
Councilmember Joy,
Present.
Councilmember Perkins,
Present.
Councilmember Sexton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Atkins,
Present.
Mayor Nickerson.
Present. Next is the approval of the meeting minutes from September 17th, 2024, regular meeting. Are there any corrections or changes to these minutes?
I don't got a change or correction, but I do have a question.
Go ahead.
I noticed that we're doing the executive session, approval of minutes. We've never done that since I've been on council, and I would just like clarification.
I'll let the law director speak to that.
Sure, that is required
Okay,
with every meeting. Regular meeting or executive session, the content of the executive session meeting is really limited. It just covers in general the topic that was discussed during the executive session. So that's in compliance with the Sunshine Act. And
okay. I just wanted clear, I thought that's what it was, but I just wanted clarification. That's what it was about.
That is-
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve September 17th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Perkins, forgive me, go ahead.
On the approval of the minutes for September 17th executive session. can I address that now, or should I do that on my, time limit?
Let's wait till they come up and this will be the next thing that we approve. I'll wait till that.
Okay,
Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes, September 17th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
no,
5-2 motion passes.
Okay, next is the approval of the executive session minutes from September 17th, 2024 meetings. Are there any corrections or changes to these minutes? Mr. Perkins, you said you had something.
why wasn't Mr. George or myself one of the three to the first interview? I thought that was very, inappropriate.
It was decided we have a 3-person panel. I left it up to the mayor to ask for those people to do it, and that's who he sent me. It wasn't, I didn't handpick anybody. It was just the group that I was given to work with.
Did the mayor choose and look at the other two?
I can't speak for the mayor.
I commenced phone calls. I had 2 volunteers right off the bat, plus myself, and that's how we ended it.
As a council member, I think it should have been all the council at one time, not just 3, and then we'll go with Mr. Joy and I get sewed into it, and Mr. Cooper. And we're only allowed to ask 2 questions. 2 questions, and we have no idea what you or Nicole or Mr. Back said in that meeting, but, to Mr. Sexton or Mr. Wolf, we have no idea what was said. And I think it was very, very, inappropriate. That's my statement.
Or like that, was anybody else notified, on the matter? Was anything sent out and asked if anybody else wanted to, join in on that session, or was it?
So my contact was with the mayor.
I
Okay,
reached out with emails
okay,
and, you contacted me.
yeah,
And
Yes, I
Nicole contacted me. I didn't receive any other emails.
Okay. okay. All right,
I don't
And I know you don't deal with email, right?
Okay, and I never received a phone call, but it seemed like, Lisa, I got a phone call, or Mr. Door, or Mr. Cooper, we got a phone call, but hey, we're gonna have a special executive session to talk about Mr. Sexton and, Mr. Wolf, but, I think that's very inappropriate, because we don't have, I don't have no idea what Nicole or you or Mr. Beck said concerning what, their interview.
Okay, all right, this first, yes, I would just advise this does have nothing to do with the approval of the executive session minutes. Let's go back to our executive session we have. Do you have any questions about the meeting that we had in executive session?
I didn't care for it one bit, but tell you that right off.
Okay,
If it's gonna be the way you choose who you want, then we're gonna, you're not, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get, 100% in your favor, 100% in your favor. There'll be no, fuss about it.
okay, noted. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the executive session minutes from September 17th, 2024?
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
No. Yes, I'm opposed.
5-2 motion passes.
Okay, next on the agenda is unfinished business. Does anyone have any unfinished business?
Mayor, if you don't mind, I have a couple of things.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
What I'd like to do is read something real quick. It's a portion of the chart before I get to the point that I want to make.
Okay, sir, Mr. Joy, this is not unfinished business, unfinished business
Business.
from the last meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is section 2.06. It's titled Organization. It states at the first council meeting in January, council shall organize itself and appoint from its membership a vice mayor. At each organizational meeting, The provisions of this charter shall be reviewed by all elected officials and department heads so as to become familiar with the provisions thereof. In addition, council shall appoint members of the planning commission, board of zoning appeals, personnel board, and of any board, commission, or committee created or authorized by this charter or by ordinance or resolution of council. Section 2.20, titled Boards, Commission, and Committees. All members of boards, commissions, and committees shall be appointed pursuant to section 2.06. And I will state again that has to do with council shall appoint members of the various committees, boards, commissions, or committees created or authorized by this charter by ordinance or resolution of council. Section 30.03, executive sessions, open meetings. A, for the purpose of this section, the following definitions shall apply unless the context clearly indicates or requires a different meaning. Any prearranged discussion of the public business of the council, any committee thereof, or any board or commission by a majority of its members. News media, any newspaper or magazine of regular and general circulation in any radio or television station. B, all meetings of council, any committee thereof, and all boards and commissions shall be open to the public except as otherwise provided with respect to executive sessions. Executive sessions may be held only at regular or special meetings with respect. Executive session may be held only at regular or special meetings for the sole purpose of the consideration of any of the following matters. And then it lists the matters for an executive session. Section 4.01, titled Municipal Manager and Qualifications. A manager shall be chosen by the council on the basis of its judgment of such person's executive administrative qualifications and abilities as evidenced by such person's training and experience in public administration or otherwise. What we have seen is there have been multiple violations regarding the research, interviews, and the hiring process for a municipal manager. There was no resolution creating a hiring committee. There was no resolution stating the members of the hiring committee. There were no advertised schedules for the meetings that were held to discuss the various candidates or the interviews of the candidates. There were no public meetings of the hiring committee, and there were no minutes provided from the committee members. Furthermore, all of council was not involved in the process and were intentionally kept in the dark about who the members of the committee would be, the process, or the questions asked of the candidates. In addition, the mayor limited several council members to ask 2 questions of the candidates, while the hearing committee could ask as many as they chose to while keeping those questions and answers secret. Based on these observations, it appears that the hiring process was unfair to several of the candidates, and it is certainly true that it is unfair to the entire council and the residents. Given that there were blatant violations of the new Lebanon governing documents, conflicts of interest, and obvious sunshine law violations, I propose that the law director take appropriate action, file a sunshine law violation, discipline those members and employees that committed the violations, and deem this interview process improper, at which time a proper discussion should be initiated with the entire council. Mr. McNamee, are you going to act on these violations?
I'm not going to comment on your statement. That was not unfinished business. I'd call Mr. Joy on board and move on to the next item on the agenda.
Okay, sir. All right, you heard it, Mr. Joy. You're officially out of order. We're gonna move forward. Does anyone else have any unfinished business? Okay, new business. I have some new business we're gonna start off with. A resolution 2024-20. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Melissa. Yeah, I would like for you to remove yourself, please, and we'll come and get you when we're all done with all of this. I apologize, thank you.
Okay, we'll continue. Resolution 2024-20. I'd like to make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the acting village manager to negotiate an employment contract with Peter Sexton for the village manager position. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution 2024-20? Oh, okay. Okay, call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins,
No.
Councilmember Joy,
No.
Vice Mayor Atkins,
Yes,
Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
4-2. Motion passes.
All right, next is public comments or questions. I will call your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak and be heard. Once your time is up, you'll be thanked, but no additional time will be given and no donation of time by others to others will be allowed. We will not be stopping time, but may, if necessary, address your comments after you have finished speaking. First person this evening is Don Bear, 107 Glenada Court. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Just a quick update, on the issues that were going on across the street from our house. A week ago tomorrow, the owner came and removed the occupants of the house, changed all the locks, trespassed them, put no trespassing signs, on the house. So we're very thankful. If any members of the council had anything to do with that, my wife and I thank you very much. Our police department, they were golden in this whole thing. The fire department showed up when they were called because of the illegal burning. So we're very thankful. However, my wife and I, being Christian people, we also feel a great amount of hurt for these people. I shared before that there's mental illness, drug abuse, behavioral issues, and these folks are very, very lost. Our problem is solved, but theirs is not. And I would just call on anybody here that believes in the power of prayer to pray for these people, that they might find their way and get the help that they need. But I just want to publicly thank our police, the council, if any of you were involved in that, fire department, and also the homeowner, Mr. Jones. He was Johnny on the spot, was very cordial, very nice with us. He came over and talked a couple of times during the process. So just wanted to publicly say thank you to everybody that was involved. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Next is Al Dennis, 407 Rosetta. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How's everybody doing today?
Wonderful, thank you.
Al Dennis, 407 Rosetta. Got a couple things I want to address today, Mr. Mayor. First, the police department and fire department and the handling of the gas leak on Rosetta with their evacuation, with the winds we had and all that. They've done an impeccable job, and the council for opening up for shelter here. Thought that was really fast acting on getting things moved around during an emergency, which is not always as easy to do, but I think our fire department did an exceptional job on mitigating and handling that, as well as the police department walking door to door knocking. Second part, again, is back to the police and fire and their handling of the windstorm that was just a few days ago. I listened to them on the radio. They was literally running from job to job to job, taking care of business, like our department does. And my third and final thing to say, Mr. Mayor, is by not having Joy or Perkins on your committee up there, at least that's 2 no votes you didn't have to listen to. It absolutely breaks my heart to sit here with a council members here voting for what's best for our citizens. And yet them 2 vote no on everything, including passing the minutes. If you vote no on it, be a man, stand up and say why you don't. If it's you got a problem with the mayor or council or other stuff like that, if all you're going to do is vote no, keep your ass at home. That's all I have to say.
Natasha Farley, 136 Broadway. Hi, Natasha. Good evening.
Okay, so I have several things. I'm gonna be a little bit all over the place, but I'm gonna try to keep it together as much as I can. To start, Rob. Why were there no background checks done on these applicants?
When you said there were no background checks done, what do you mean?
From what I've heard through the grapevine is that there were no background checks done on any of the manager applicants as for, I guess at the time's sake, I'm not sure. Because really, I really don't understand how Mr. Stephen Wolf here even made it as a candidate. Given that he has over $1 million lawsuit against Jefferson Township that's currently active. He dismissed it, county-wise and brought it up on the state level so that you couldn't necessarily look it up on the pro and find out about it. It is on known record, news articles, petitions all over Jefferson Township about misappropriations of funds that he has within Jefferson Township. Really, I'm just really kind of blown away that he even made it this far. And honestly, my husband actually went back and watched some of their meetings, and his behavior and the way he handles and conducts himself is extremely unbecoming and unprofessional and absolutely not the behavior of a municipal manager. So I, for one, am glad that he did not make the cut. And I just, anyway, I just wanted to express my grievance on that because I really don't understand that. I don't know if that was legal advice. If that's legal advice, that's bad legal advice. Moving on, Mr. Joy, as I was going through minutes and doing some research on some things, all throughout last year, you can be quoted in multiple meeting minutes to where you welcomed and encouraged people to come up here and express their grievances all over the place. But yet now people are met with silence and cold stares, and it's really inappropriate. Next, a lot of people were complaining recently about Homer Court being changed to a one-way. I did find a resolution last year. It's actually an ordinance 2023-09 that was passed last year that was changing Homer Court to a one-way street with the new construction. Just wanted to clarify that for everyone. On the meeting minutes, they have all been approved. However, I have a grievance. There are no representations of any of the public comment. Anyone from the public that came up here and spoke, there's nothing up there. My husband, myself, Shannon, it's nowhere in the minutes. These are supposed to be public record. How is it public record if you don't even have even a summary of what people said? What else do I have here? Oh, resolution 2023-13. It is a resolution signing a contract with Miami Valley Lighting for streetlights. I believe it was somewhere in the range of $60,000 for streetlight maintenance. Why wasn't Access Road included in that ordinance?
I don't know for certain. My guess is we own the streetlights versus we lease the ones from Miami Valley Lighting, so we're responsible for every bit of those lights on Access Road.
Okay, I just wasn't sure because like I said, that's $60,000 for street light repair and we just spent another $5,600 to fix these. I didn't know why that wasn't included if it's for street lights.
Yeah.
And then the very last thing, and I'm finished, I've come up here multiple times expressing my grievances on the charter. I was on the charter review board last year. I have tried many times to tell people that it was a farce, that all of these changes were written up by Glenna Madden and Ronald Keener for their advantages. And as I was going through, I discovered that Manager Madden actually lied at the June 6th meeting last year to Shannon Bemis, saying that there would be 3 readings before that ordinance actually got passed for that to be sent to the ballot. And I feel like if those 3 readings had not been waived at the next meeting, which she pushed for and argued for, after lying to a citizen, that I feel like you would have had more people up here expressing grievances about those changes and they would have not been passed through because you would have had a lot more people understanding what was going on. That's how you had some of your council members get caught up in them in the changes that were done. And I just wanted to bring that to light, because again, I've been outspoken about the whole charter review board and the whole sham that it was the entire time. Other than that, I think that's about all that I have at this point. That's all I was able to gather. I haven't had much time with the car being broke down. Oh. And yeah, anyway, I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Josh Farley, 136.
Hi, guys, want to see you. Great to see you guys. I wanted to echo kind of what Tasha said a little bit about the background check. It's kind of a strange thing for me. Secondarily, I guess, onto the background check, this was supposed to be a transparent thing. And nobody got any information on these people until we're down to the last two, and then we didn't get any information about them then either. Not to say that I need a thorough background check on somebody, but it took me like 3 phone calls and looking on the internet to find out that this guy has petitions against him for having illegal meetings, having meetings in private that he's not allowed to have, to fire people. He's got a lawsuit that's $1 million against his village, and I don't even know why we would have him up here representing like he would get a job here. To me, it would seem like a real liability. If you look through the suit and why he's suing and then look into the background, you'll see it's kind of a frivolous thing. He's just throwing at somebody. So it seems to me that he might be up here to maybe try to do the same thing to us, but that's just no dog in the race. I did have one thing that I did want to bring up, and it's kind of irritating to me. I've lived in this town for now 7, almost 8 years now, and there are a lot of vehicles that are on roads that are broke down. And it seems that I'm not sure why. I've heard through the grapevine why, and I'm just not going to mention on camera or microphone today as to what I've heard. But there is one vehicle that got targeted in this area, and it's a specific targeting to that individual. He moved his vehicle. Right around the corner from his house, there is another vehicle jacked up on jack stands. It's been sitting there for 6 months. There's 2 down the road from my house that have been on jack stands for several months until they heard me talking about it, and then they removed it. There's flat tire vehicles all over the place. There's vehicles that have registration that are 4 years old. And I am very uncertain why one individual got a orange sticker on their vehicle that nobody else does. Now, it seems that he wouldn't cooperate in one way, shape, or form. So it seems to be targeting. That same kind of stuff was happening on the last council. And I hope, it's bottom of my heart, because I believe that we were moving forward, is that we are not doing the same things that the other council was doing. If we're going to target an individual because they do not agree with what we agree with, we need to think about what we're doing. This is supposed to be a fair and impartial kind of a thing. If one person is going to get an orange tag on their vehicle, then everybody that has their vehicle done like that should also get an orange tag. It's just my opinion.
All right, Josh, thanks, sir. Okay, next is administrative staff comments. Lieutenant Workman, acting police chief. We'll start with you, sir.
I would just like to remind people, at night, please lock your car doors. Don't leave your keys in the car. We've only been hit so far twice this year, but areas, are around us, as close as Brookville, are getting hit weekly, some more than that. The car that we just recently had stolen, they left their keys in it. And they're hitting neighborhoods in about a minute. So it's real quick in and out. After they hit us, they hit Lewisburg, Brookville, and Huber Heights also. And on top of that, if people see something, we ask that they call. Both times that we've had vehicles stolen, the suspects were actually witnessed either before or during. And there was a delay in people calling, so that delayed our response out there. So we've asked that people lock their vehicles, don't keep any valuables in it, and definitely don't keep your car keys in it. And the suspects right now are juveniles. So if you see kids out at night, please call. If they're locals, we'll ID them and get them home. But we definitely don't want people coming in from the other areas that are stealing cars and stuff like that. That's all I have.
Does anybody have anything for the acting police chief? Go ahead.
So I did have a member of the public that I talked to about that, and I actually seen the video, and it's a young teen get out of the truck, walk up to 2 vehicles in one driveway, pull on the handles, and then run across the street to another vehicle and literally try to get in. I also was told that currently you've got officers patrolling the area. And I just want to extend thank you for that, for watching over the community. It's not just here, it's Brookville, it's everywhere. So if you see kids out late at night past curfew, they're probably more than likely up to mischief, not all, but don't be afraid to give them a call, and checking is always better than somebody's car getting stolen, crashed, people hurt. So I just want to extend thanks for that, and that'll be it.
Anybody have anything else for the police chief? Yes, sir.
I was thinking, go ahead, Mr. Jordan.
Were you able to identify them? Yeah.
So we got them on video, both here, Brookville and Huber, and it's the same 3 kids or 4 kids. The vehicle ended up recovered in Dayton, but the people that were seen running from it was a different group. So we're currently working with them to try to ID people. We don't have any positive IDs right now, but we're working together on it to ID them.
Thank you.
I
Ms.
just,
Jackson.
not really kind of a question, but comment, but out in Fairborn, there where my daughter lives out there, broad daylight, 3 o'clock with a gun, running up to, they live in like the military area, running up to the cars, broad daylight, 3 p.m. And, I was there yesterday and she lives on a street. Everybody knows everyone, you know, what cars belong back there, but 3 younger teens, they're coming, scouting the areas and, they're hitting the cars later on in the late evening or at night. So I mean, it's everywhere right now. So thank you for,
I guess my only concern, just a brief comment about what you were saying, is living out here in New Lebanon, we're gonna have folks out here that are well armed in their homes and might stumble upon somebody stealing the car, and that this could generate some issues.
Yeah, and
So we need to be careful with that.
just a reminder, you cannot use deadly force to protect property.
Right.
So if somebody's trying to steal your car or break into it, you cannot shoot
Right.
at them or anything else. Now, if they're actively threatening your life or somebody else's life, that's different. But if it's just them getting into a vehicle, you know, you can't use deadly force or produce a firearm. It's better just to go inside, lock the door, and then call us.
Right, okay. Thank you, sir. Anybody else have anything? No, okay. Daryl, administrative staff comments. How you doing?
Good.
Good? Okay. Law director, anything, sir?
Just picking up on Mrs. Farley's commentary on the charter process, if that is a concern with the council. I know Mrs. Farley has mentioned that several times, that we wanted to take a look at the charter and perhaps perform, organize another charter review committee. That's certainly.
I think we need to do that, because I have some issues.
Too late for this election, but there's several ordinances too that I'd like to either create or amend, including, for example, the circumstances in which a person can be removed from a public meeting for disrupting the public meeting, making that very clear what the consequences are, sufficient warning being given, and no criminal action.
Okay.
Things like that.
Yes, sir.
We should put that on the table. Other than that, I have nothing else.
All right, thank you. Municipal Anders comments.
Couple things, Your Honor.
Mayor,
I'm sorry,
if you don't mind, can I ask, Mr. McNamee a couple questions?
You can ask.
Who is your client? Here,
Village New Lebanon.
so as per section 4.07, titled the law director, it states that the law director shall be directly answerable to the council, which means that we are your client. And you have mentioned several times that you would not provide me with detailed billing records. Is that still the case?
The bill. Yeah.
Sir, you've seen my answer, and I'm not going to change it. So, right here, I'm holding 2 complaints that you filed against me with the Dayton Bar Association, alleging numerous ethical violations. They laughed you out of the building. Okay, I'm not going to tolerate your continued commentary, and you're not going to get those records, period.
So, as per rule 1.7, conflict of interest with current clients, it states that you should step down because you are not representing me.
Representing us.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing.
I'm not going to comment.
Okay, he's not gonna say anything. We're gonna continue.
Rob, this will
Just
answer
a couple
comments.
things. We have our leaf pickup starting October 21st and running through November 15th. I ask that you give Daryl and the folks some grace on that. They are a little short staffed at the moment, but are doing a great job with what crew they have. So appreciate it, Daryl.
What was the name again? I'm sorry.
October 21st through November 15th. I've given Daryl a lot of credit and the folks in his department. I've failed to mention at the last meeting, Glenn Butterball. Glenn does a great job reading meters. We've had, when you adopted the new meter program in 2018, since then, we've installed over 650 meters, which is primarily Glenn's responsibility and the crew down there. It's a tough job to do that. It's a tough job to check those meters. Glenn does a great job. I failed to mention him at the last time I did it, just out of stupidity. So appreciate Glenn and everything that you guys do down there at the service department. Along those lines, I want to echo what Mr. Dennis said. I think our police department, Detective Weir, and Lieutenant Hetzel from the fire department did an outstanding job on the gas leak over on Hazelwood, getting folks notified. Mr. Dennis, I appreciate you transporting a couple folks up here to the building. That was very nice of you to do that. I don't believe they had transportation, so you got them to safety. Appreciate you doing that. Great job all around, and really only lasted about an hour and a half, which was terrific when folks were allowed to go back into their homes. So great job all around. Appreciate everybody that helped out with that. That could have been a tragedy and turned out to be something that was not as great as it could have been. That's all I have here.
Alrighty, next is council member comments. Now, let's see, I started last time. Mr. Joy, we'll start off with you. You have all witnessed here today blatant violations of the charter. And the rule of law. By not providing detailed billing records from the special counsel or the law director, that's fraud. There's no way that we can actually look at any billing and find out if it is actually accurate. If we're supposed to be a check and balance, we have to see what's being spent. This is exactly what has been alleged that happened prior to the mayor and the other council members getting elected. I have not been charged with a crime. I have not been presented with facts of a crime by a court of law, or has it been directed to our legal counsel of provided, they have not been provided evidence of my alleged activities. So I'm asking you, why am I not receiving the information that has been requested? Everyone here campaigned on transparency, and I would like to know where the transparency is right now. You should all be concerned about what is happening in New Lebanon. The current administration and the management has made a mess of this village. Our PD is at 50%, our service department is at 50%, our fire department, I'm hearing rumblings of discontent. We have 3 lawsuits against us now, and that's sure to increase. And you should be concerned.
Can I address that?
No.
He asked us
No.
a question.
No, that's okay.
No, he did ask us a question.
Let
You
'em-
got it. Okay, come on.
Never
Come on up.
council before.
Okay, come on up.
Stop, Carly.
Go.
Let him go first, John.
One more time, guys.
Josh, sit
Go
down.
ahead, Mr. Williams.
The reason that you're probably not getting answers since you asked the question is because from what I've seen before Glenna and what I've seen after is a complete 180. I know and I can understand that you feel you're on some special mission, but I didn't see it before. I'm seeing it now. Understand, but I didn't see it before when others were bringing up issues. You didn't have the same gumption as you had before. Why the change? You asked us the question, I'm answering it. That's probably because you did a complete 180. You didn't stand up before, but all of a sudden you're 10 toes down. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Josh. Go ahead.
Thank you.
No, you did? Okay. Mr. Beck. Anything?
Yes. Transparency and accountability, since we're gonna go down this route. You're right. I can only speak for myself, so I'm going to, since all you wanna do half the time is speak on Facebook and stir chaos in this town. You wanna take the gloves off and have a boxing match, Mr. Joy? Alright, here it is. The years that we came up here and asked questions, you did nothing except for sit on this bar and yes, no, yes, no. That's all you did. I had a great deal of respect for you, especially when you said, well, nothing will get done up here because nobody wants to do nothing. Now you get people that want to do something and now you want to complain. People have come up here and asked you questions and you don't want to answer us, but you have no problem going on Facebook and spewing lies and stuff like that to make the new council look bad. So, transparency is this. If you're talking about the whole municipal process, that didn't have to happen. There's nothing that says that. The questions the intern manager had, it was written questions that were asked. And I find it funny that you have all these great questions, but where were you when all this stuff mattered? Now, people were elected, such as myself, to pick up the mess that has been going on in this town for years. And now you want to create chaos and have people against new council and point the finger and call us the bad guys? That's fine. I'll be the bad guy, if that's what everybody wants to paint me as. But anybody that knows me and knows who I am as an individual, and I can't speak for anybody else on this bar, and I don't intend to, knows that I would not do anything to jeopardize this town or put it in an area where it would not succeed. I have my family here. My family's been here. My grandmother worked at the schools for years, and is actually a reason why the teachers have a union. And being accused of doing heinous things to this town, you're a laughing stock. As the attorney said, you got laughed out of the bar association.
That is.
Hold on, don't hold on.
You take your chance.
Yeah, you wanna take the gloves off? All right, here it is, dude. Here it is. You're gonna get it today. It's funny you talk about violations and conflicts of interest. I think you might wanna go and research. I believe it's 802 of the charter and figure out where you fit into that, because you fit it real good, buddy. Real good. Having your members of your family come up here and call that man a Nazi that served for 33 years, you're a joke. You wanna talk about, no, don't you interrupt me. I gave you your turn. You can sit there and you can listen. You wanna disrespect people like that? You wanna disrespect a man that's a veteran? That's fine. You still don't do that. I've never disrespected you whatsoever. You wanna have people come up here and disrespect him, call him a Nazi, and then go on Facebook and target many people like you have? You're a joke, dude. You're the reason why people elected us. And Shannon Bemis helped you get elected because she went around and got your petition signed. And people of this public deserve to know the truth. And you know what? There is some things that we can't provide because we're waiting on the Attorney General and the auditor. And God knows more than anybody, I can't wait till it comes out because I'm the one getting blasted by it. So do I. So do I. Because I don't know what it's gonna pertain to, but I'll tell you this, from what I've seen from that man's report when he came up here the very first time, I'm telling you, it looks pretty ugly to me. And honestly, I didn't need that man's report to tell you that our roads were crap and that things weren't being done. And if you look at the public, look, the pond's clean, excuses for years. Look at the lights that are getting fixed, excuses for years. The ODOT paving the road up there. Wow, that's funny, because I remember Glenna telling me on a car ride when she was showing us the different areas that, oh, well, it can't be done. It's gonna be done when they do it, and it's like so many years out and this and that. Guess what? That's getting done. You know what? Things are getting done. And you can go on Facebook and bash us in front of people that don't watch YouTube or don't come up here and listen. But the fact of the matter is stuff is getting done that's been swept aside. So don't talk to me about accountability and transparency. You don't know me. You really don't. And I don't need you speaking for me out on Facebook and smearing me when you're supposed to bring 33 violations of charter up here and show us where we violated this and violated that. You want to throw sand, that's fine. I went to an OML meeting earlier this year. Where were you at? Where were you at? Were you there? Did you attend it? Did you ask questions? Did you learn stuff? No, you didn't. So if you want to take the gloves off and really get down to what's been done by this new council, new things have been done. Where were you at when things were being done improper? Where were you at?
I'm tired of being attacked.
You had your opportunity, Mr. Joy. He had his opportunity.
Where were you at when we were paying people to clean a courthouse that didn't need cleaned for months and months and months? No, you wanna attack me on Facebook? I got tired of that. Maybe you'll learn to shut your mouth from now on. If you got anything else you ever wanna address to me, be a man and come up and talk to my face like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like a man. No. One more thing. Let's wait until the audit's done, and if everybody don't want me to run again and fight for you and take loss of wages on my company because of the stuff they're saying about me that affects my business and I pay my bills with my family, yeah, that's the petty stuff I'm dealing with. You wanna talk about targeting, I got a long list, and if you wanna sue me, get in line. Cause I can sue right back. If you don't want me to run next time, that's fine, I won't, but just know this, I ran because people came up and asked me. Because I love this community, my kids are here, I've been here my entire life, and I can promise you this, I will never do anything that will not be the betterment of the community. Not any selected individual, but the community as a whole. And I will defend myself because I've been sitting back, taking blast after blast, and I'm done. You're messing with the wrong dude.
Continue, please. Mr. Perkins.
It's gonna cost us a building a lot of money. I mean, they're paying $120,000 for insurance already. When they get done paying, and I'll, you know, he's got it coming because Mr. Ford got money, but they got the lawyer down there dismissed it. If he don't get over $100,000 for him suing the village, there's something wrong. The same way with Lebanon. They got big money coming, and so does the ex-police chief. We're talking about big money, and this is the village's taxpaying money that these people are spending. And I don't believe they were put in office to spend that amount of money. And when these court cases come, I mean, it's gonna be bad, because they all got subpoenaed, and they're gonna be in front of a judge, and you know, what goes around comes around, and it's gonna come around hard too. And I only got one other comment. I know that gentleman's a friend of yours. The big guy right there. I don't appreciate him telling me to keep my AWS home. That was inappropriate. And if you don't-
He's a civilian, he's a citizen, he can voice his comments, whatever he wants, that's up to him.
In a public comment.
He sure can.
Freedom of speech.
It's
sir.
freedom of speech, just like what you guys have identified. You're allowed to speak, and that's what he did. I didn't tell him to say anything or do anything. So, there you have it.
In other words, you can use
Well,
any kind of related.
Mr. Perkins, may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
About 4 council meetings ago, you sat right there and said, Jesus Christ, I quit, and got up and walked out of a council meeting. What's the difference? What's your conduct?
I didn't cuss anybody out.
You said Jesus Christ, but you got Christians out here that don't believe in that, and you got up and disrespected this council and walked out in the middle of a council meeting. What's the difference?
Yeah,
Nothing happened to you.
because of you.
Okay. Mr. Cooper, do you have anything, sir?
Well, I do.
Yes, thank you.
I want to preface what I want to say. First of all, I live on Hazelhurst. And the gas, leak occurred right across the street from me. And I want to commend, I know it's already been done, but I want to commend the police department, fire department, all the responders to that. They did a phenomenal job. And, they took what was a very dangerous situation that could have been very catastrophic, and they handled it professionally. As a resident on that street, they communicated well. And at no time did I feel the situation was out of control. So I want to commend again our police department, fire department, and all the responders. Now, as it took being over an hour and a half, that's true, we returned to our home. But my wife and I, as I say, live right across the street. And under regulations, once the gas company fixes the line, they have to monitor it for 12 hours. So I got to listen to a truck hung outside my house till 2 o'clock in the morning. But, that was a small price to pay, but, anyway, we thank you for that. And last thing I want to say is, I wasn't elected to this council. I was appointed to this council to fill a vacancy that occurred. At no time was I drafted, encouraged, spoken to apply for the position. I applied for the position on my own free will. I was as surprised as anybody that I was selected. And that being said, I'm not on anybody's side. Except one thing, and that's all of you. If you know me very well at all, I am a Christian. I'm a very serious Christian. And my faith tells me that I respect all human beings. And that you are deserving to be treated with dignity and respect, whether I agree with you or not. And I can profoundly disagree with you on a personal level, on a political level, on a moral level. But I will tell you right now, I am my own man. And I make up my own mind. And I am going to do my best to do what I feel is right for the village, because every person that lives in this village, everyone, has the right to be able to live their best life and to pursue the ambitions that they have and to succeed. And that's how I see my position here. So however long I serve, just understand that about me. I'll listen to every side. I might laugh in private, but I'll never laugh in your face. But I'm going to make up my own mind. And so I just want you to know that that's how I am, that's who I am. And I'm 67 years old. I've been at places of responsibility before. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. I've been manipulated, lied to, slandered. So this is almost feels like home. Well, anyway, I just wanted, that's who I am. And if you have any questions, email me. I'm pretty good about responding to email. And if you want to have a cup of coffee or something someday, get a hold of me. I love coffee. And we'll talk about stuff. But anyway, I appreciate it. And that's all I wanted to say. But I believe in this village, or I wouldn't be here. And I believe in every one of you. And so start trusting one another and believing we have the best in our hearts for this village. Because I believe the vast majority of people do. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Ms. Sexton.
So is our department's, the police department, people are making speculation and accusations that you are at 50% or below in staffing due to council.
What?
Is that accurate?
So I can only speak to what our numbers are. At the moment, we are at 60%. I'm expecting that to drop to at least 50 and possibly 40%. Beyond that, I'm not sure how much lower it will drop. People have been leaving, taking other positions at other departments. I can't speak to exactly why they're leaving. That would be up to them. So all I can tell you is that I'm expecting us to drop to 50% and more than likely 40%. And we're having a very hard time getting applicants.
Okay. So is that due to, so council does not have a say in police department, just to clarify that. So everyone knows. And if you're listening to what you're reading online and listening to the chatter, it's called rumors and speculation. If you want answers, I know that the manager is always available for phone calls. I know council, we have emails. I'm more than happy to meet anyone. I have a phone number. I'm more than happy to give it out if you would like to talk about something. But people are stating that officers are being put in unsafe positions due to this.
And with staffing levels, we were mostly 2 people scheduled per shift. We're now going down to 1 person per shift. And people are definitely working more hours. And the only thing that I can ask is like I talked with the manager. I think the best way to move forward and to get us through this is to have BCI come in and look at all the allegations.
Okay.
Because that's when we try to recruit, that's usually one of the first things that gets asked is what's going on with all the allegations and everything else. And the only thing I can tell them is that we've requested BCI come in and we're waiting.
Thank you.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
What I was gonna say, it's not what I'm gonna start off with. What I'm gonna start off with is a text that I just got.
Me too.
And I think a lot of the council, but I bet Gail didn't get it, and I bet Mr. Perkins didn't get it. I don't know about people.
Well, I have all the phone numbers, so we can find.
But it's with a couple of the service departments. And I'm gonna just read what it says. And one of them sitting in this audience tonight. Says, fuck you all. And I'm not a cussle, okay? And it says, oh shit. We don't need these kinds of pictures coming to us. This is not gonna help this community. It's not gonna move us forward. It's not gonna fix anything. I think you guys all think that we are all in cahoots and everybody's got something going on. You know what? I am the person of my own choices. I do my own research and I vote the way I vote on my own research and what I do for the community. I do for the best of what it is. And another thing I'll say is, for one, everybody thinks this investigation, we know what's going on. You know what? I wish I knew what was going on in this investigation. I wish I knew what the facts was and what the outcome's definitely gonna go. The only thing I can say is when they told us, when I questioned how long is this investigation gonna go on? And they said they're gonna dig a few months. And if they don't find nothing, the investigation would have been over. Guess what? We're going over 7 months and they're still digging. Obviously, there is something. I don't know what it is. I wish to God I knew what it was and I'd be able to tell you guys. But I have no clue. So don't put us all in this blanket that everybody is in cahoots and everybody is together when we're not. This is nonsense that you're putting everybody against each other. You know what? I am transparent because I had a person reach out to me about something and I asked them to get a hold of Gail. You know what? I am transparent, or I wouldn't have told him to get a hold of Gail. You know, there is so much that people don't know. If I had Mr. Perkins' number, I would have been able to do that too. But at the end of the day, I am for this community and I am trying to help this community and I'm trying to do what's best for this community. And you know what? If you guys don't want to be part of helping the community, then leave. We don't need people that don't want to be with us and move this community forward. This community has suffered enough and everybody involved is suffering. There is no winning in this situation. At the end of the day, it's a sad situation for New Lebanon, no matter what the outcome is. And you know what? We have to keep on moving forward. Facebook is not a trial. Facebook is not something that I'm going to participate in. You can tag me all you want, but I'm not going to participate in a village business on Facebook. If you want to get a hold of me, like I've said before, get a hold of me through my village email. which is a public record that you could trace if you need to get any information, or you could come to a council member meeting and talk to me there. You know, I am not gonna sit there and debate about stuff on Facebook, because that is not a public record request. If somebody says she said this on Facebook, that's not gonna be, I don't have to report what Facebook says. So let's try to be more transparent. Yes, transparent is being open and honest. If I had something to hide, you think I would be here? I have nothing to hide. You know what? I want this community to move forward. I want to see progress that's going on. There has been good. The police department, what they did with the gas leak, that is phenomenal. I see the service department out there working. I actually beeped at Glenn the other day ago when I was going out of town because he was out there and I just beeped at him to wave at. I have no problems with anybody in this town, in the service department or anything, but I do not want these kind of texts coming to me that's flipping me off and everything. There is no sense in that. What is this? Why are we playing child games that go back in high school? We're not in high school. This is a village that we are trying to make better. Let's all work together. Let's all move forward and let's do what we need to do for this community. Because if not, all you're gonna do is keep the drama and keep everybody butting heads against each other, and that's not what we need. Wait till the investigation comes out. As soon as it comes out, I'm sure you guys will know probably before us.
Handful of people causing turmoil.
Thank
You
you.
know who you are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're fine. Oh, sure, we might as well, we're giving everybody an opportunity tonight. Come on up, Mrs. Cooper.
My name is Teresa Cooper, 443 Hazelhurst. Every time I have come into this building to do a village council, we have always prayed. And if you are a believer or not a believer, we need to start following that rule, that golden rule that we all learned back in kindergarten. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We all need to be adults. The only way this village is going to go forward is if we start praying for each other. You can't tear someone down if you're praying for them. I am very, very serious about this. We need to have forgiveness in our hearts, love for one another, goodness and kindness. Otherwise, we will tear each other out and we will tear each other up and we will be destroyed. And I would hate to see that happen to any of us. We really need to come together and pray together as a community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, can I say something?
Sure, go
Ask a
ahead.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ms. Cooper, I apologize for getting up and walking out while you're speaking. You say that someone from the service department sent that text message
You want to see him?
and they're in this audience
There's there's
Yeah.
lots of them.
Here.
from my service department?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I have no problem with it.
With all due respect, I see one person from my service department in the audience and I promise you he didn't text that.
Hey, Daryl, why don't you comment on
Okay,
that picture?
with all due respect, there is one person in this audience from my service department. And no offense, but that man is not texting anybody. The world was ending, that man's not texting to tell anybody about it. I don't know who that text came from, but it's not from any of my, anybody currently in my service department. I'll check and see where it's sent from, but it's not the gentleman in the audience.
Look at all the phone numbers.
So,
If you want to drop down.
what's that?
You know, Troy Harrison?
No, that's not, nobody even on our,
You want to look at all the phone numbers.
All right, let's go ahead and
can it see who it came from?
I can't.
Yeah.
I have it.
Does
Here,
any-
Nicole, let's
you
go
got
ahead
it?
and finish up. We'll.
Okay, I'm saying, I just wanted to clarify, it's nobody in this room from my service department.
Okay, I got a few things that I'd like to mention too. I'm kind of beating a horse here, but I appreciate what you guys in the fire department did. In the service department, if you were involved in the gas leak, I know you guys were ready, you're on standby, whatever happened. So that was amazing work that you guys did. Al, you know, even though they don't like us, buddy, we've been friends for over 30 years and we've done a lot of real life stuff. We've pulled a lot of people out of fires. We've saved a lot of people's lives. So I don't care what anybody says. You're my brother. You're my godfather, my triplets. So you're my buddy. You always stick with me. So I appreciate what you've done too. That was a volunteer thing, just straight up. I got a phone call. I think the city manager called me about it. I was at work, and I made my way over to town, over to Hazelhurst, and I talked to the superintendent of the gas company, AES or whoever it was. And he said if it wasn't for the community and their response and getting the citizens over to this building safe and dry and protected, he had never seen it before in any other community. He was very proud of serving this community. And he assured me and his crew that were there, because I met all of them, shook hands with every one of them, I was there for almost an hour, that they would make sure that everything was taken care of and everybody got home safely. So I appreciate AES this time, and I was out there for that. Couple other things. A young lady that works at the diner, I don't know if you guys seen her, Alyssa Oliver, I think her name is. We had people didn't have power this past weekend with the storms from that hurricane. And she provided meals in empty, dark houses for 20 or 30 people, I think, on her own dime. And I found out about her, and she works at the diner with Lori. So I went over and seen her on Sunday afternoon and talked to her and thanked her for, on behalf of a respectful community and what she did. And I made a small donation on behalf of the community for her, from all of us. And she went ahead and made vegetable soup that night after working and took it out and gave it to more people. So kudos for that young lady. She did an amazing job. And she said that she is with us anytime, any day to help whatever she can do for this community. And that's the kind of people we need to do that. Okay, so Alyssa Collins, very nice lady. I think she lives over by you guys somewhere, Josh, over in that area somewhere.
Yeah, I know where she's at.
And then yesterday we had an emergency last night and Daryl came out and helped me. The water fountain at the courthouse broke. It was flooding the courthouse. And the cleaning people were over there doing an inspection and they called Kelly. Kelly called me. Rob was busy. So I called Daryl and Gary and we went over there with my wife and we cleaned up the mess. Daryl was able to get the water stopped and plugged up, put a plug on it for right now, and averted a catastrophe. Because if that had gone unnoticed for days, who knows what could have happened in that building. So kudos to you, my friend, for coming out late and being soaking wet, laying on a wet carpet and the whole kind of bit. So I appreciate you for what you did also. And then finally, I'm not gonna say much about it, but everybody up here has said something. And I too am transparent. I know nothing. Believe me, I'm on the phone with these guys asking every day, what's going on? Have we heard anything? They haven't heard nothing. Okay? I want this to be over just as much as everybody else does. But I stay quiet. And I don't say much. Unless you start discrediting me or giving me hard times or telling me that I've committed violations of the law. If I've committed violations of the law, bring it to me and let me see what I've done. Show me. If you got constituents that don't like me, tell me who they are. Come to the council meeting. I'll talk to them. Who have I not ever not talked to? Ever. Okay? And it's getting real old for me, and I'm gonna piggyback off what Mr. Mack said, the fake emails, this proton.me where you can't be identified or located or whatever. Well, that's wrong. Because I have a good friend of mine that does computer stuff. Very good friend of mine. He's high up in the military. And I've asked for some help. I'm not gonna get involved in anybody's business, but he said if I need it, just call him. Because I'm tired of the threats. The threats are back. People are threatening me. Okay? I'm telling you, as polite as I can be, there's a side of me that you don't want me to be. Don't threaten me or my family or my friends or my council members up here. because it's not gonna go well. And you wanna keep suing us? Well, you know, I'm leaning with Mr. Back again, but we can do some lawsuits of our own.
Get in line.
And we will file lawsuits against you all, whoever you are. You know, the fake names, you know, Richard James. Oh, you know, whoever this Richard James is, you know, who cares? He just signed up 3 days ago. So, if you guys got a problem with me, come to me, I'll talk to you. You know, we'll show you what's good and what's going to happen. 70% of the public voted for me. Okay? 70%. And you know, it's funny because on the day when I was at the church with Miss Sexton and Shannon Bemis, I had everybody waving. I didn't see anybody saying, we don't like you or give me the finger or anything like that. And that would have been okay because I would have waved back. So the majority of this community wants this mayor and this council up here to do good. And we've done good. You know, and we're going to continue to do good. And what Miss Atkins has to say, and then we'll be done. If you don't like it, leave. There's a lot worse communities than the village of Lebanon, I promise you that. Okay? I'm safe in this town. I trust that man. And I trust the officers. I trust the fire department. I trust the service department. I trust these people up here. So if you don't like it, leave. You know, we're not gonna throw pencils down. We're not gonna bang our hands like previous leadership have done in the past. We're gonna be respectful and polite and listen to you. How it's gonna be. Okay? And I'm sorry for being so straightforward and blunt about it, but that's how it's just gonna be. All right? All right, continuing. We have nobody on the agenda tonight. So our next regular council meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins,
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson,
Yes.
Councilmember Sexton,
Yes.
Councilmember Back,
Yes.
Councilmember Joy.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Atkins,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay, we're adjourned for this evening. Thank you for everybody coming. Thank you.
Haley, you should step down, man. Stay step down this time, right? In it this time, you know, stand behind something like a fiction, like a band does.
I know, I'm.
You know what it is? They're open opportunity to take a look at the picture and you'll recognize it.
Those are old.
They are.
Yeah.
You still have dark hair.
Yeah.
2007.